Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire. Let's continue playing. So, unfortunately, I don't know a ton about China. Or Chinese New Year, really. I'm pretty sure it's not the year of the monkey this year. I know it's this celestial Zen Buddhism idea of different astrological signs coming out, and almost certainly, like all calendars, there's probably an element of a calendar coming about around the seasons and when to plant crops, when to harvest crops, and all of that. I know China built the Great Wall of China to keep out the Huns, I believe. I know modern China is a huge country with way too many people and way too much industrialization. I know that the quality of a lot of their construction projects is very questionable, and often I think they just give people work so they tell them to build buildings that are gonna fall down in less than a year, so they have room to build the next building. I know the West loves to send manufacturing jobs to China because they are very good about. They've gotten very good about manufacturing something from a blueprint or from scratch, even. To a final product a lot better than that. I know China has a lot of rare earth minerals, and that is one of the few things that we need in electronics. But in general, I don't know that much about it. A lot of smog, a wide variety of education levels and economic levels amongst the Chinese people, even though they like to pretend that there isn't. There's this movie that I think has Jet Li in it or somebody else called Hero. There are several movies called Hero, but it's about a guy who's does a lot of wire fu kung fu, and he's telling the emperor at the time of China, or one of the states, not even of China, because China hadn't been unified at the time, and it kind of is this amazing story. I don't know how much of it's true, but it is a really good movie, one of the best ones. I'm not into a huge amount of wire fu and or kung fu movies. I did watch quite a bit of Jackie Chan's adventures, but ironically, much like this game, being a Japanese company making a game around the Chinese things, Jackie Chan's adventures eventually did just end up talking about Japanese Oni demons more than they were talking about the original set of haunted items, I believe, that they were chasing after. And that was a cartoon from a long time ago. It was pretty fun. Jackie Chan is very popular. He does a lot of stunts and risks himself. But I mean, you really are just I'm just showing a vast wealth of ignorance as far as China. It's a huge country, so there's tons of stuff I don't know about it. Now, here it's important, now that we've gotten these reshuffles and finds, as we get off that topic, since I don't have anything intelligent to say there, is to try to get these top levels off and not make any matches otherwise. and then hit shuffle and not blow it. That's my main goal here, is don't blow it. Because I know I'm going to have to shuffle at least once, because this red leaf, which I don't know if this is supposed to be a maple leaf or what. I've never seen this symbol on a Mahjong set. Seems like they just added some or replaced some things. I don't know why. But maybe also that is standard and I haven't been looking at the standard Mahjong sets. That didn't make a lot of sense though. I think I would have seen it. This one matches here. And then that leaves me with nothing more I can really do right now. So, shuffle. And then match here. And then match here. And let's see, match this. See, there's a whole nother layer here. So I may very well end up shuffling again. That, and that. Now, theoretically, I've got it in the bag. That once you have everything exposed like this, there's no way to lose. As long as you don't have a timer. I know some of the Eastern countries don't celebrate birthdays like we do in the West. And Chinese New Year is kind of the replacement for that. And it's definitely a big holiday, even if it isn't. That isn't the case. There's almost a better logic to that, really. If you were to pick, have all the birthdays in a year on the same day, everybody celebrates, everybody gets together, nobody gets left out. Parents don't have to drag their kids to like 15 parties a year, which probably is about accurate, particularly for young kids. Well, this is an interesting start to a new outfit. I guess I should just continue going forward. I think it's going to be a bikini again, since we had 3 bikinis with the first girl. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with 2 bikinis for all the other girls, since there's only 3 levels for these. Now, I'm having a little bit of trouble here because this looks like it is loose, but I guess technically this is blocking it. It's weird because the left and the right are edges, but it doesn't matter if it's touching something top to bottom. It's kind of arbitrary in how it works. And you can't do something touching something, which you kind of wish you could. So get the edge there. Get that. This one. This with that. That with that. That with that one. The music's good. It sounds like it's probably just licensed music though. If this was like created for this game, then I think I would just have to applaud the musician and then take them aside and say, you spent too much effort on it. The game's not worth it. Oh, that was a bad mistake making that match, because I'm gonna have to reshuffle. I know I am. In fact, now's a good time to reshuffle. Oh. I wouldn't mind if there was some traditional Chinese music in a game like this, because that's one of the few opportunities where they could expose me to that culture and maybe listen to something different and learn something new. This is a very upbeat, just video game kind of Japanese anime style song. That it does certainly evoke an emotional response. Oh, should I shuffle now? I think I should. But if they got something in there played by some of the ancient musical instruments that I'm sure China had like hundreds if not thousands of years ago, playing some really old songs, something classical like a Mozart or a Beethoven would be in the West, something that even most Chinese people haven't heard. That would be interesting. So it just puts her in kind of a waitress outfit type thing. I don't know if it's particularly called that a waitress outfit or something else. And that's stage 1. So you get the default clothing first. And then each stage unlocks another one. So you get a little bit more clothing as an option. Let's try stage 2. It kind of does feel like you need to beat each girl's maximum number of stages before you move to the next girl, because it's not really unlocking the next girl, but it may just be you have to beat a certain number of stages and then the game unlocks the next girl. I think I may have gotten an incredibly lucky deal here. Unless something happens to prove this to be really difficult. Let's see, all of these have 2 or 3 more panels on them, but they're not really hurting me. Can this and this? See, this matches and this matches, so if I leave these 2 alone, I can always reshuffle. But I may not actually need it anyways. Let's see, 2, 2. This with this. 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 And that with that. And move forward. Now this could have been a Japanese game that was only meant to come to Japan, and they, after making it, said, you know what, we could just add some English text in here and sell it in the Western market too. That would make a lot of sense. That would actually make an incredible amount of sense. It would explain why it's kind of lackluster, because in Japan, you know, spending money in Japan is kind of a national holiday, maybe a civic duty. Things are incredibly expensive, and it seems everybody's always buying something. Maybe I'm oversimplifying the situation, but particularly in Tokyo, it's incredibly expensive. So I also kind of wonder if maybe this was a cell phone game scaled up, and you can certainly see that. I kind of wish there was more cell phone games that came to Steam. Like Angry Birds Space is on Steam, but none of the other Angry Birds games, and that seems kind of silly. They sold a lot of money. You'd think you could do a decent enough cell phone port, but unfortunately most of the cell phone ports on Steam are not decent ports, and they don't play right, and they have problems with timing, and they have problems with interface. But since this is a mostly laid back solitaire game, except for when you're playing with the timer, I think you could easily play this with a touchscreen, and I'm playing it with a mouse and not struggling that much. Although the timer sections were giving me a little bit of trouble. You can definitely move a lot faster once you get used to using a touchscreen. But I really would never bother to get one for a PC. They're too expensive and they're not very high quality. Alright, so if this goes away and this goes away, we've got victory. This and that and that. I guess I need to just be real careful not to blow this. But nope, I'm fine. Perfectly safe. I suppose there might have been a way to lose there if I just had no matches on the edges and there was a big square. But fortunately I didn't run into that problem. Let's move forward to round 3. Final round. And we're just not having the amount of difficulty we had with the first go. In fact, I may just breeze through all of this. And I assume we're gonna put her in another bikini or something. And see, the weirdness here is this element, which is nothing and adds nothing to the game, actually probably kicks out the playability of this game to a small percentage of younger or more conservative video game players. Not just younger people. Hey, some people are married and their spouses don't like seeing their spouse playing games with cartoon girls and less than, well, cartoon girls at all. So I would have to assume that they attract more people adding this element than they lose, or they've done the numbers and they figure that's the case at least. But being a Japanese company, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not completely wrong about that too, because Japanese companies in general, video game companies in general from Japan, do have a tendency to not believe what seems to be the facts. You only have to look at something like Konami or Capcom and just see some of the awful games that have been put out by those two companies in particular. Go ahead and shuffle. Let's see. Yeah, this doesn't look particularly like a bikini. It's some just kind of fancy clothing, it seems. Fancy ballerina tutu dress. I need to make sure I have all the matches, and I don't think I need to make these 2 matches. Like, well, I can make these 2 matches, so let's go ahead and do this. Just to see. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. That. This 4 doesn't match anything. This 9 doesn't match anything. This 4 does match that. So this and this, which if I do this, that and that works, and then that and that works. And that gets me down to the lowest layer, which means victory. And so I think she may have just called me a pervert, if that's the word she's just said. But I'm not 100% certain about that. I think she may have just called me a pervert. And like I said in the previous recording, I've learned a few words in Japanese, and that's one of them. So this is her default outfit, and this is kind of just like a, I'd call it a waitress outfit. And this is just either a magical girl outfit or a ballerina dress, a ballet dress type thing. And it's the same background room for each of them. Let's see. If we look over here, it looks like she's got a drawer and a laptop and some pictures. No TV. Western beds. It's about 50-50 depending on where you live, whether you're going to end up sleeping on a Western bed or a tatami mat in Japan. I assume this is all Japanese because these look like Japanese girls and they're in Japanese dress. So a clock, plant, a small TV here. There's a TV. Incredibly small TV, not widescreen. Looks like maybe a CD DVD player here, and this looks like really tall books or laser discs. When you compare it to the size of this drawer, that's tall enough to be laser discs, so that's really, really big, whatever that is. Anyways, it's kind of weird they all share the same room. So we've done 2 stages with her, and looking at this outline, this is either an angel or a devil. I'd put my money on the devil outfit here. And we have Canon here, and she's not done anything here, which tells me that I either need to do 1 stage with Canyon to unlock the next character, or I need to do all the stages with Riza. And I think we could probably do an experiment in the next recording, and let's just try Riza and do her that first stage and see if that works. But we're gonna have to do that in the next recording. We're done for this one. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can go to my main YouTube page. On the right there's a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.